Welcome back. This is Lab 1, Navigating the vSphere Web Client, and we're looking at Section 1, which is Log in and Navigate the vCenter server using the vSphere client. Alright, so if we take a look here at the instructions, we're going to launch the SA student virtual machine. That's going to allow us to access the graphical login screen. Now, to launch the console window for the virtual machine, I can access it either by clicking on the machine's graphic image from the topology page or by clicking on the machine's respective tab from the navigation bar. So essentially what I'm looking at here is a navigation bar that has the ability to interact with it. So I can either click on the SA student and that'll pop open here, or if I'm in the topology, you can click here. And this will now allow me to log in. Either way will work. Now the account credentials are right over here. So I have sysadmin VMware 123. And hit my login. And wait for this to complete. Now this lab's been running for a while, which means that all my virtual machines are warmed up, ready to use, so I don't have to wait on a virtual machine to get started in the lab pod. But if you do find that you receive messages that something's not ready, you just need to give it some time. Usually can take up to 15 minutes if quite a few users are interacting with Netlab at the same time. Now, in my instructions, I'm instructed to open the Firefox web browser. We can see that right over here. And two different ways to go, but usually the easiest way is to just go to the bar here and double click on it. Let it open up. And there you go. Now you can see that this welcome page has been tagged as the home page just for ease of use, and I will be launching the vSphere client. This is an HTML5 client that is hosted on the vCenter server. Let's go ahead and click on that. That'll open up a new page, and this is the login page now. And you can see here's the address of the vCenter server. If I take a look at my topology, you can see right there that vCenter server is at 172.2010.94, and that's what I can see over here, 172.2010.94. And this is the single sign-on. Now I will need to enter the credentials for this, and they're not identical to the credentials I use to log into the SA student. Okay. So what I'll do down here is scroll to the next page, and it tells me that I want to type in sysadmin at vclass.local and VMware 123. So let's go and put that in there. And the password, and you'll note the password is identical to the password that I used to log into SA student, into this interface or this virtual machine here. It's just the user account is actually part of the single sign-on, which is embedded in the vCenter server versus the local account here. Let me drop back over here and hit my login button. You notice there's a little browser OS combination window they warn you about in the instructions here. You can just ignore that. Okay, now I'm logged in. One of the things I want to do is on step 7, I'm going to do a display resolution adjustment. All right, so to do that, I'll need to go to my settings menu here. So we'll go ahead and click here, and let's go to settings. Notice everything I'm doing is not on my own personal computer, but is within the virtual machine. This will provide a better interface or experience for me. And then for the resolutions, what I'm going to do is maybe make a change here. So what they're saying here essentially is that If you do not like the resolution you're getting, if it doesn't fit your screen very well, what you can do is you can make an adjustment. And so you can say, okay, you know what, I'd rather have something maybe a little larger like this. Or maybe what I need to do is make it a little smaller because I'm a little cramped in this space and it's not working very well. So I can go in here and say, okay, let's perhaps set it at something like this, 1280 by 800. Maybe that fits a little better. So make the adjustments as appropriate. If you don't like the adjustment, you can just hit the keep this configuration. All right. You notice it popped back over to that. I'm just going to go ahead and close that. All right, so that's making an adjustment. You're going to find that sometimes that's going to be very useful. It really depends upon the interface you're working with, your own personal computer. All right, so that's it for now. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and take a look at navigation in the next video and just see how we're going to navigate through this vSphere client. We'll see you then.